Hey ladies, so today is Sunday, August 15th, 2021. I am 20 weeks and 5 days pregnant. And second pregnancy is 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 different from what I remember. Now, I did do a lot of videos during my first pregnancy, so I could just go back and try to figure out how I felt during that pregnancy. But this pregnancy just feels different to me. And I know every pregnancy is different, so yada yada. But so physically, it feels different. One, and I think from my understanding, this is fairly universal, is that in subsequent pregnancies, women feel pregnant earlier. So you start to feel that pressure earlier. I know I was feeling pressure like in the first trimester. You start to feel like that bloated feeling earlier. Um, generally, I'm sure there's some women who were like, I didn't feel anything either pregnancy or any pregnancy, and everything was great. More power to them. But I'm saying generally. And for me, one thing that happened it did happen in my first pregnancy, was that I had really bad pelvic pain. Um, and that is usually from your ligaments stretching, your pelvic floor, I guess, preparing for birth, and from the pressure of the baby, the weight of the baby as the baby grows. So I wouldn't expect it where I guess like around 20 weeks, the baby's about the size of an artichoke, if you know what that even is. So, or you're familiar with the size of artichokes, but um, the baby has a rough weight. My baby has a rough weight of 12 ounces because I did get my 20-week full anatomy scan this week, and it went well. But my point is, the baby's not really that heavy, and I've been having pelvic pain. It didn't start this week. I've been having it for several weeks, but it is steadily getting worse. Now, it's probably going to continue to get worse because the baby's going to get heavier. Um, but yeah. Now, my doctor explained that the reason for this is because my ligaments and pelvic floor have already stretched for the first pregnancy, that it's like stretchier, and so things move earlier, baby sits further down. But I guess that makes sense that it's stretchier and all that. But shouldn't it be less painful this time because it's already stretched? So if it has to re-stretch, why would it be more painful, and why would the pain start earlier? I understand it being more painful first time because it's never stretched, but this time it has stretched, and it's stretching earlier because the baby is stretchier, I guess, so the baby can sit further down and be more comfortable, I guess, which makes me less comfortable. So even sleeping, I'm having difficulty finding a comfortable position already. And it started weeks ago. And it's mainly due to the pelvic pain. And when I say pelvic pain, is in the groin area, it's kind of this sharp, stabbing, burning type, stretching, pulling, I guess, pain. I guess that's what it is. I don't know. If you ever had it, you'd know it. So if you didn't have it, hope you don't. And in my last pregnancy, I purchased one of those belts that's supposed to help carry the weight or push the weight up of the baby, of your belly. It kind of supposed to strap around your back and help hoist the weight up. But it's, I'm not really that big. I do still have the belt, but first of all, I don't think it worked that well in my first pregnancy. So I did say if I ever got pregnant again, I would get something better. But I am showing, but not like a normal person necessarily. So I think even with my first pregnancy, I didn't show. I essentially, I did show, but I also think you could have just theoretically thought I was just fat. Like, just gain, like, just had a stomach, because it just didn't look like the pretty pregnancy belly. I just say it that way. Like, it just didn't round out, and look like a little ball. And everybody carries differently, and I guess that's just the way I carry. So this pregnancy is really following that trend, where, again, and we'll see once I get further along, but I'm showing mainly because I know, my clothes don't fit the same way. And, I put on a maternity dress. I only purchased 2 maternity dresses my last pregnancy. And since I was heaviest in the summer, I put on a maternity dress, this summer. And, did it look like I was pregnant? I don't necessarily think it was obvious to people. Because, like I said, it just could have looked like, a very large lunch. So, I don't know if it's good or bad, but it is what it is. Sometimes I feel like it would have been nice to have, like, the more pretty rounded part. But I do recall that when I was, like, 8 months pregnant last time, and I did my maternity photo shoot, I did have more of a pregnancy look. But then when I went to get induced, I went at the hospital, and I had on a black dress, a black summer dress, and I asked for labor and delivery, and the nurse didn't really realize I was pregnant. She was like, "Wait, are you pregnant?" And I'm kind of like, I mean, is that a compliment? You either think I'm fat or, so, and I was like, yeah, like, very far being induced today. And she was like, oh. So, I say all that to say that I'm not, like, if I put that belt on, maybe it'll help. I haven't tried it. I might buy a new one. I hate to waste money on something if it's not going to work. The one I have wasn't great last pregnancy, but I did wear it a lot because I was having a pelvic pain, but it didn't really help. My doctor said that I should just try to do some yoga, prenatal yoga and stuff to strengthen the pelvic floor, because strengthening the muscles around that will help. But, I work out 6 days a week and have been doing, like, from majority of this pregnancy. And I think I do exercises or that help strengthen those muscles, whatever those muscles are. And I've done prenatal exercises, and I've done regular exercises, and, I don't know. I haven't really done a lot of prenatal yoga, so I will say that I have not. So I think I'm going to start trying that to see if that works. And if I can find a belt that helps, I'll let you know and I'll show it. But my last one I did a whole review on for my last pregnancy, and it wasn't good enough to hoist out this time to show it. It's just a Velcro belt that goes around your back, and and yeah, that's really as far as that. Oh, the doctor also said I could take Tylenol. I haven't tried to take Tylenol for the pain to go away, but it's like I said, it's worse when I'm sleeping. When I'm sitting, it's fine. When I'm standing, right now, it's fine. Actually, my last pregnancy, going from sitting to standing was the worst. But I haven't gotten there yet. So, so right now, when I'm sitting, it's fine. When I'm standing, it's fine. If I lay on my sides, which is you're supposed to lay on your side when you're pregnant for sleeping. When I lay on either side, when I lay on my right side, and you're not supposed to, but whatever, I get the pain, and the pain starts on my right side. So, like, I'll lay on my left side, and then I'll still get the pain, and it's like, well, that's weird, because the pain starts on my right side and now travels to my left side, on the pelvic, in the pelvic area, and I'm just like, yeah, this is weird. And then And so what's actually most comfortable for me right now is laying on my back, which I know is not recommended, and but it's most comfortable. And so, it might not be what's recommended, but what I'm gonna do what's most comfortable right now. But eventually, I do know that it will be too uncomfortable to lay on your back as you get further along in the pregnancy. That's what happened last time. Last time I actually didn't have this problem of which side to lay on. I could sleep with no problem without too much pelvic pain. So I'm actually shocked that this is interfering. My pelvic pain was worse, like I said, going from sitting to standing and things like that. But a little more with walking, but not with laying down. So now I'm having it with laying down, and I'm not having it with the others. So I'm only imagining that that will come as well, because this pregnancy has been worse in so many ways already. Um, but it is a blessing, and I'm not complaining, but I am. And I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, it's just weird, because like I have been honestly so emotionally all over the place with this pregnancy, and mostly depressed. And it's weird because I did try to get pregnant. I did not do the IVF, if you followed the story this time. But I did try a few times naturally, and it took pretty quickly naturally this time. And, um, you know, I just, I don't know. I'm assuming it's hormones. I don't know what, but like I just have all these worries. I worry about whether now, like after when it's too late, like I worry about, was this the right decision? I have a 2-year old. Am I going to be able to handle a 2-year old and a newborn? I know a lot of people do. A lot of people handle closer ages gaps, but I'm thinking, should I have waited longer? I am 38, but women have children for years after, some in their 40s and stuff. So I'm like, maybe I should have waited. Is it going to be okay? It's a lot because it's just me and my husband. We don't have a lot of support. We don't have a lot of help. Let me take that back. We don't have any support. We don't have any help. It's just us, and so I worry about that. I worry about whether we're going to be able to handle it. I worry about my home. Because I don't like the setup of it. It's weird. I really want to move. Everything's all over the place. We're still in a pandemic, even though a lot of people deny it, but I don't know. The numbers are increasing. I do worry about COVID. So I got the vaccination, at least the first shot. I'm not due for my second shot yet, but I worried about that. I still worry about my daughter getting exposed to it. I worry about what this vaccine will do to this baby that I'm carrying, because no one knows, but everyone's pushing it and they have no idea. But I guess one risk, I don't know, but I worry about that. I try not to think about it, but, it was a big worry. I did videos about it. But like I said, I worry about my home because the way it is set up right now, I have a 3-bedroom house. I actually have a 6-bedroom house, but it's a duplex. So it's a 2-family home, and I rent out one part of it, and the other part, it has 3 bedrooms. And the way it's set up is that through one of the bedrooms, the master is on one floor, and then there's 2 bedrooms on the other floor. And I've been so reluctant to put my 2-year-old down on the lower floor, which is where the other bedrooms are, by herself. And I probably just need to suck it up and do it, but it's just not ideal. And I'm like, when we purchased this house 7 years ago, I was 5 years away from having a baby, so I didn't really think about it. And now I'm just like, okay, this setup doesn't work from as much for me. I'd prefer she was on the same floor. I'm concerned with her being like, she's already super clingy, but then I got to put her down there because it's like if I don't, she is a holy terror at night trying to get her to sleep. It's like at night, her energy, whatever energy you should have in the day, which she does have in the day, you turn it up times 10 at night, and that's what she is. And it's like, well, how do you handle a newborn who's sleeping, who probably will be sleeping off and on during that time, and Miss Crazy running around here and jumping and screaming? And I'm like, she has to probably just be in her bedroom, which kind of doesn't exist. I mean, it doesn't, like there's a room, but silly stuff, I guess. Maybe, I worry about that. I worry about so many things. And I haven't been able to like enjoy this pregnancy. And I don't know if I enjoyed the first one either. But, I tracked it. I did all this stuff, the pregnancy stuff that you do, and took photos. And I started taking weekly photos on like my bump development, but I haven't really followed the pregnancy. I mean, I'm going to all my doctor visits, but I haven't been on the apps. I had like 4 apps. And I was like the bump and pregnancy tracker and this and that, like all, like maybe even more than 4 apps that was tracking my pregnancy last time. And I'd go on each app, and this one, your baby's the size of a rutabaga, your baby's the size of a puppy, your baby's the size of a like everything, your baby's the size of 2 chocolate eclairs, like whatever you wanted your comparison to be, they had it. And I did all that last time, and I just haven't done it this time. Maybe that's also a thing of a second pregnancy. Maybe, I hear people like sometimes with their first baby, they'll take like a trillion pictures, and the second baby might have like 2, I don't know. I'm trying to not be like that, but again, I don't know if it's the hormones. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But, I'm debating whether, I should reach out and talk to a therapist about it, because I'm like, if I'm feeling depressed now, and I know that I'm at high risk for postpartum depression, that like it concerns me. And I did feel some postpartum depression, with my first pregnancy, but I reached, and it's crazy, I reached out to therapists, several of them, and I just didn't get responses back. I was calling different, I went through my insurance and the providers, and was calling different people. And I like to think it would be easier this time around, because since COVID, it seems like there's a ton of therapists out there. But I reached out like to a therapist from my doctor's office, or not actually her office, but the practice. But it's a big practice, like it's a huge practice of different, all types of network of doctors under the same umbrella. And they sent me this email randomly about doing a webinar about depression before, during, and after pregnancy. And I was like, it was like, oh, this is something interesting. So I did reach out to the doctor, in that doctor's practice, that part of the practice. But for some reason, I haven't gotten a call back. So I need to reach out to them again. I don't know, I want to be proactive about it, but I just can't seem to shake these. And it's not like, oh, you're having a bad day, right? Like, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, having a bad day is having a bad day. Like, everybody has bad days. Everybody has bad weeks. But I'm just like, overall, I can't, and I don't know. I know the world's in such a weird place right now, but then they're trying to push so many things. Everything's open. People try to pretend that everything's back to normal. You know, you got those who like, oh, it's everything back to normal. And then you have the rising COVID numbers and the fact that, you know, even if you're vaccinated, you can still get this virus. And what that means to someone who's pregnant, I don't know. So we do our best to avoid and wash our hands and, you know, even go so far to get a vaccine that, you know, we don't know what effect it'll have on the baby, just to try to, you know, quell some of those concerns. But anyway, I don't know, ladies. I really don't. Maybe it's hormones. Maybe. So I just sometimes I hate saying everything is just hormones though, you know, but it might just be hormones. Sometimes that's an answer. Yeah. So, that's where I am right now. And I try to be as upfront and honest about things in my videos because, you know, so many people do fake and glam and not real life and not their real life, regardless of what they want to say. And there's, you know, these are things that people don't always talk about. And I'm just trying to, you know, is this a thing? You know, what should I be doing? Should I see, you know, is this a hormone thing? Like the postpartum depression is supposedly just based off the hormones. Or is it situational? Are these things that I'm worried about? Is it just like, don't worry? Like, you know, I'm built differently. Like my husband is just so worries about anything. Like he doesn't worry about anything. I mean, well, maybe he does, but he doesn't share those worries. He, you know, for any time I talk to him, it's always like, I don't worry about things I can't control. I don't worry about, and I mean, I know that's perfect world, right? And I don't worry about this and I don't worry about that. Like, I don't know how he lives like that. It's funny. I wish I could because I'm so the opposite where I'm like, what if? Maybe that's why I'm a lawyer because my brain works in this way where I'm like, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if that happens? So, you know, I'm like always trying to have a contingency plan. And I'm, you know, I don't know. I don't have all the answers right now. And that bothers me. I don't have a lot of the answers right now. Let me put it all of them, but I don't have, you know, most. So, anyway, I'll keep you updated and, you know, feel free to comment and share or whatever. And, hopefully, you know, I'll be in a better later. I'm like halfway through I'm actually a little more than halfway through the pregnancy because I'm getting induced at 38 weeks again. So like 19 weeks was like halfway for me. But for a normal pregnancy, that's 40 weeks. You know, halfway through is 20 weeks. So I'm a little more than halfway. So we'll see. All right, ladies, I will talk to you soon. Stay safe.